transfer portal update. Hey guys, look, Chamon Metayer in the transfer portal. You see it up here. I see a lot of people on Twitter talking about this, and everybody's asking what's going on. Well, if you ever look at my content on TikTok or Twitter, I typically talk about every single transfer. I typically make a video and talk about every transfer for Colorado. I got a lot of fans who ask about them. Anytime they get a late edition or an edition, people ask me to break down the film. I know there's been some people on Twitter and stuff, and like, Rico only makes content for Colorado for clicks. No, it's to suffice the fans. It's to appease the DMs, because I get so many of them that I have to talk about every single Colorado player. I'd love to talk about every single other player. By the way, I do. If you watch the podcast, if you watch the live stream, I talk about every single player in the transfer portal. But the Colorado kids, I usually make a video about them and stuff. But Chamon Metayer, when he jumped in the portal from Cincinnati, and they said, hey, this is a 4-star transfer. And they started, you go on websites and stuff, you'll find them. They got them 4 stars all over the place. I was like, what the fuck? What's this? There ain't nobody 4-star on offense outside of a running back, Corey Kiner. Like, what are we talking about? At Cincinnati? I don't know. So he goes to Colorado. You will not find a video of his anywhere on my TikTok or my Twitter. You will not hear me singing praises or anything. Nope. I actually think Colorado doesn't care about the tight end position. Like, I saw them get the kid from Ohio State. I saw them move Smalls and move Pearson, I think, the other linebacker. I saw them move guys to the group, to the position group. But it's just leftover athletes who aren't in the 2 deep in other positions, and they're just like, yo, you go to tight end. No, you go to tight end. And then when I look at the coaching staff, and I know the coaching staff, I talk to Colorado coaches. I like a lot of them. But when I look at a guy like Bartolone, who's been an offensive coordinator, wide receivers coach, I believe he started at Nevada before he went to Jackson State. And you see him with the wide receivers last year, and now they moved him to tight ends. And I just feel like Colorado does not care about tight end, bro. I don't think they run sets for tight ends. I remember Harrison in the red zone getting those 5 touchdowns. But for me, he doesn't block well. He's not very good. So you get a blocking tight end from Ohio State. You got other guys who need to learn how to play the position. Like, I read an interview from Bartolone. He's like, yeah, the other guys, they're working on hand placement. I'm like, holy shit, man. They're still working on the fundamentals of the position. And then you look at Metayer and you're like, well, this guy, I'm going to say it, this guy can't catch. And if I want 4 receivers threats out there, I want 4 eligible receivers, I might as well just grab 4 wide receivers or move Dylan Edwards to the slot, right? I need to do something because Alto's at running back, and it ain't nobody stopping that man. I'm letting you know. So for me, it just looks like Colorado doesn't care about the tight end position, or at least they're not going to address it the way people envision. And even if they did, I don't think that's part of the offensive scheme. Like, I just don't. And maybe someone's going to try to convince me that Schumer, right, is like NFL and going to do all that. Bro, they want 4 playmakers on the field. They're going to find the mismatch and exploit it. And I don't necessarily know if this was going to be one of those mismatches. And I think this young man showed up and realized, and the reality is, you got a kid. I think he's from Miami as well. High school ball. He played in Miami, I'm sure. I think once you get like dissension and you don't believe in your coaches, or maybe your coach called you out in an interview, and he didn't necessarily call you out. He just said, hey, we're still working on things. We want more consistency at the tight end position. If any coach says that, and you're the tight end, you're like, man, I'm out of here, man. This guy don't believe in me. He wants more consistency. I'm giving it, whatever. So I don't want to be ugly, and I don't want to say anything inappropriate, but there's a reason I never made a video on this young man singing his praises. Recruiting websites tell me he was 4 stars. I don't care. I didn't look at it like that. If you did a search for top tight ends or wide receivers in the transfer portal, he's in like the top 10 or 20. Like, I just be sitting there like, yo, shit happened. The same thing Traore last year. Remember Seydou Traore, the transfer from Arkansas State? Sunbelt first team, all this stuff. And I'm like, hey, guys, doesn't look like that. Now when you turn on the tape, it doesn't look like one of those guys that's going to impact your win total. if you will. So congratulations to this young man. I hope you find a new beginning, and I hope Colorado fans don't try to drag him and don't write who with question marks and all that in the comments. Just understand that sometimes you get players and they're meant to be depth pieces, or they're there to increase the competition of a particular position group. They're not all blue chips. They're not all NFL prospects. And people need to be more realistic about what they're evaluating and what they're seeing. I turn on the tape immediately, and I'm just like, okay. Oh, you wanted him. You got him. You ain't heard me sing the praises anywhere. And I tend to talk about everybody, and I'll sing praises or I'll say they suck. But if I don't mention you, don't want to drag you. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows.